Hi, this is John from Cobrowse.io, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to use JSON Web Tokens with Cobrowse.io, and specifically how to use the optional policy claim to limit the scope of the JWT. For example, limiting which devices can be listed and connected to when using that JWT. This can be used for a variety of purposes. For example, you can generate a JWT that can be used only to connect to a single device. Or perhaps you have multiple customers using a single Cobrowse account. For example, if you are whitelisting Cobrowse into your own products and services, you might have your own customer A and customer B. You want customer A's agents and users to only be able to access customer A's devices, and customer B's agents and users to only access customer B's devices. You can easily achieve this using the policy claim on the JWT. This is somewhat of a continuation video of this first video tutorial available on our YouTube channel that gave an overview of how to use JWTs in the first place, how do we generate one from scratch, how do they work. So if you are not familiar, we recommend watching this video first, and we'll very likely be adding this video here as a secondary video here in our documentation that goes into the details about the policy. All right, enough said, let's start getting this to work. So over here on the left side, we are logged into a Cobrowse account, and on the right side of the screen, I'm in incognito mode. Okay, I'm not logged in anywhere. I'm in an incognito browser. I try to load that Cobrowse dashboard, and it says login is required. And so in the first tutorial, what we did is we wrote a little bit of code. We used Node for this example, and we generated a JWT, and we used that JWT as a query parameter here. Let's just drop that in as a query parameter. And we use that JWT to automatically authenticate the user. Okay, so because that JWT is being used, we can now automatically authenticate the user when this page is loaded. And of course, this can be iframed into your own page, or it can be viewed like this, just as a regular link in the browser. If any of that's not clear, please just go to our docs, go down to authentication JWTs, and we recommend watching this first step-by-step guidance video that we have. All right, so now in this case, we've got an end user here, okay? And we have entered some custom data for that end user. So we've identified this device with this custom data. If you're not familiar with that, you can head to our documentation, go to identify your devices, and you can, in any of our SDKs, web, iOS, Android, and so on, you can add custom metadata to identify those devices. We provide user ID, user email, user name, device ID, device name. These are really just placeholders. You don't have to use these fields. You can use whichever key value pairs you would like. So in this case, we're using some of them, but not all of them. We added in a favorite color, which is red. And we've also added in an account ID, which is 123456. And because I've done that, now in the dashboard, we see that that device is listed. We've got john@example.com, and we've got that account ID 123456. We've got the device ID, which is 789. We've got the favorite color red. Just to add something a little bit more, let me just call it, let's call it favorite food, and let's call it, candy. Let's put that in there. And so let's look over here in our device data, and you'll see that now favorite food candy is showing up in near real time. So really, you can use whichever key value pairs you'd like. All right, so this JWT that we generated in the first tutorial, really it does not use the policy claim, and we're going to show you how to use the policy claim. So in this example, I've got two devices. One of them is this website user, and then another one is this website user here. I set some custom data for them as well. It's a different user ID. Their name is Bill. The device ID is 999. Their favorite color is blue. In this case, they don't have a favorite food, but the account ID is the same, 123456. And then you can see that we've got Bill's device here. And what we want to do is we want to use the policy to generate a JWT that's scoped to just be able to access and list the devices with account ID 123456. So let's jump into Visual Studio Code and let's take a look. I've got my code here on the right. I'm using Node.js, but you can write this in any language you'd like. And we want to use the policy claim. So let's go ahead and add a policy claim. And let's look at the examples right here. Paste that in. All right. And then for us, we want account ID, and we want 123456. And let us then go to generate the JWT. Let's grab it. Let's throw that into JWT.io. And we see that now there's a policy claim in the payload. Alrighty, let's go back over here and let's grab that and enter it here. All right, we have not seen any of your devices yet. What is going on? All right, so we've specified the account ID as 123456. That needs to match up with what we did in custom data. And actually, in custom data, it looks like it's a number. It's not a string. All right, let's clean that up and see if that makes the difference. Let's make that a number. Let's now generate a new JWT. Grab that here. Go to JWT.io to visualize it. Now it's just a number. It's not a string. All right, and let's just replace it. There's no Chrome true that can go away as well. I'll explain that in a second, just because it's here. So we've now used that, new JWT, and guess what? It worked. Now we can only see, we're scoped to just see those devices that have that custom data, account ID 123456. The no Chrome true, we've covered this in other videos and in our docs, but it basically gets rid of this navigation right here on the left. So especially if you're embedding this page as an iframe into your own website, sometimes it's nice to add no Chrome true, and that just hides the navigation. All right, fantastic. So here we are, and I've got that listed. I can go ahead and connect to my device. Let's allow it. Okay, everything seems to be, John is typing. All right, great. Everything seems to work well. Let's end that session. Fantastic. All right, and just to expand on this example a little further, right now we're filtering all devices that match account ID 123456, but let's actually restrict it a little bit further. Let's make sure we match device ID 789 because I just want that JWT to be scoped to access this one single device. Let's go back over here and let's go to device ID 789. All right, let's just generate the new one. Let's grab that token. Let's hop into JWT.io so we can visualize it. Not necessary, but helpful. Account ID is here, device ID is here. That looks good. All right, let's change this token out for the new one. And here you have it. Now we have a more restrictive policy. It is requiring the device to have both account ID and device ID, and therefore we can just access this single device. All right, so I hope that was useful. Again, there's a variety of ways you can use this, yeah, customer A can only access customer A's devices. Customer B agents can only access customer B's devices. You can also restrict it so just a single agent, gets a JWT that allows that single agent to connect to just a single device at one time with a low expiry date, a tight expiry, something like that. Please reach out, let us know if you have any questions, and we hope that this was helpful. Thank you very much.